Good morning. It's Thursday, Friday for Chris. The better news is it's 1 week away from week one.
Oh, yeah.
Tampa, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers to get the season started. I hope the Cowboys have something. I hope because look, and they perfect motivation. If Mike McCarthy wants to do a Hard Knocks speech to his team all week long, nobody expects us to win. And sometimes when they say that, it's bullcrap. Sorry, Manchester. But sometimes it's true. In this case, nobody expects the Cowboys to win next Thursday night. Nobody. So use that. This time it's real, Chris.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you there, definitely. It's America's team. We're going to see Dak Prescott. They got weapons galore at wide receiver. But, yeah, there's so many questions about the team itself, and then we just know where Tampa left off. I mean, in Tampa, it just seemed like they kind of left off still going on an upward trajectory where you're just like, man, if they start next year where they just left off, and of course it looked like that the other night with Brady and the way the offense looked and the way he was throwing the football, like, holy cow. Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I mean, I want a good game, you know that and everything, but is there a scare in me that the Bucs manhandle them and kind of dominate the game? Certainly. I think that's a reality in my mind for sure.
Tom Brady, after the third preseason game, said it was time to pivot to the first biggest game of the year, that Thursday night opener. And I'm reminded of Brady on The Shop. The big headline that he made was when he made the comment about some team that dropped out of the free agency race. Oh, you're going to stick with that. Bleepity bleep.
Right.
But he also said during that show that 90% of the things he says publicly he doesn't mean because he doesn't want to create problems for himself, doesn't want to create motivation for the other team. So here's what he said about playing the Cowboys. And you ask yourself whether this falls into the 90% BS from Tom Brady or the 10% when he actually says what he's thinking. It's good to start the season against a good team. Dallas has a lot of firepower. A lot of draft picks. They've got some new things we're going to have to prepare for. Okay, yeah, they have a defensive coordinator that runs the Seattle defense that he's mastered. He's mastered every
Came
defense.
back for
There's
10 points in the fourth quarter twice against that scheme.
The new things don't matter. There's nothing that they're going to have that they're going to break out next Thursday night that's going to make Tom Brady say, man, I'm confused by this.
Right.
And if the best thing you can say about the Cowboys is they have a lot of draft picks, maybe he meant
firepower.
They have a lot of draft picks. Well, they all do, Tom. There's 7 rounds, and they all do. And as we know that, the Patriots had a 6th-round pick that was number 199 in 2000. Everybody has draft picks. It's just every time I hear him now, thanks to his uncommon moment of candor when he basically said 90% of what I say isn't the truth, I'm looking not for the 90, I'm looking for the 10, and I didn't see any of the 10 in what he said.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, he's been taught well up in New England not to give bulletin board material. He's not that type of guy anyways. I don't think he wants to be rah-rah, but hey, the message, it's our next biggest game, that, and then, yeah, in his mind, I'm sure he's, realistically going, man, if we play our best football, there's nobody in the league that can beat us. And of course, like to your point, like we saw last year, yes, schemes aren't going to confuse him. It's not even about schemes. Brady, if there's one flaw he's got, we know what it is. Can you get to him? Can you get there? Can you get around him? I mean, almost every turnover and interception he had last year had to do with people around him. He didn't want to take the hit. Let me get the ball out of his hand. And I don't know if Dallas's defensive line is ready for that, not now. And you can't overly blitz Brady, to your point, because he knows it's coming, and then they protect it up, and then he strikes downfield with Antonio Brown or Mike Evans. So it's going to take a special team this year to knock them off the perch. I mean, Mike, we didn't even mean to go down this wormhole here, but I do feel like they're kind of like the cream of the crop in the NFC. Like it's the first time in a few years where I go, wait, there's a team in the NFC where I feel like they're just a notch better than everybody else. I know they got to go out there and prove it, but man, the roster, the personalities, the leadership from Brady, all of that, I can't imagine them falling too far here this year.
This may be the first time I've felt this way about an NFC team since the Seahawks in 2014.
You might be right.
When it just kind of felt like, why are we even doing this? Why are we even playing
They're
the
gonna
season?
get there.
Like, why are we? They beat the Broncos 43-8 for crying out loud in the Super Bowl. They're going to get back and they're going to win it. And they almost did. But not quite, thanks to Tom Brady. So that's the problem. Who's the Tom Brady out there that's going to keep Tom Brady from doing Tom Brady things? Now, before we get too far down the path of, and I know we have to pivot to other things, and Courtney, one of the new producers on the show, is probably thinking, what did I get myself into? This is not what we're supposed to be talking about. But sometimes you just got to lean into it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. With Brady, before we coronate the Buccaneers, and I am probably going to pick them to win it all again, I can't get out of my mind, and you mentioned it, the Brady reaction to pressure. And this is not an issue of bravery. This is an issue of smarts. Live to play another day. Don't get yourself crushed by a guy who is literally half your age. Get rid of the ball. That mentality opened the door for the Packers to come back and win the NFC Championship. And we've said this before, how different the narrative right now would be with the Buccaneers if the Packers come back and win that game, because it was a collapse, and it would have been an epic, monumental, historic collapse by Tom Brady that would have prompted all of us, including you and me, to spend the last 7 or 8 months saying, I don't know, maybe Tommy doesn't have it anymore.
Right.
But because the Packers couldn't seize the brass ring that Brady tried to give them, we're acting like he's still wearing a cape.
Yeah.
There are tatters in the cape if you can get the pressure on him and he throws the ball up in the air and it's up for grabs and the other team catches it.
No doubt. I mean, I do. As much as we think they're dominant that way, they did get a fairly easy schedule at the end of the year last year, right, to kind of get the momentum. To your point about the NFC Championship game, let's not forget, in the divisional round, it was 20-10, and the Saints were driving down the field, and you're going, it doesn't look like the Bucs are going to stop them. I mean, Drew and company kind of was moving the ball slow, and you're going to go, man, they're going to go up 23-10, 27-10, and it might be over. And then, of course, the Jared Cook fumble, the Antoine Winfield play happened. But that to me is the only flaw he has in his game right now, is that pressure element. Like you said, it's almost preservation mode there where, yeah, he's trying to stay healthy. He understands that he's a 44-year-old man, and he doesn't want to take that wear and tear. But, the big thing is with that offensive line, the formula they started to use were keeping Gronk in to pass protect and have these 6- and 7-man pass protections. It became very hard to get him. And I think the other thing I look at is they just go, I don't know if there's like one of those great D lines in the NFC right now either that you can go, oh, that could be the team. Maybe Washington. It is the Saints. Yeah, maybe it's the Saints, but there's not that New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks type of defensive line where you go, well, I can see them beating Brady because they can get there with 4. They don't have to compromise coverage in the back end and all those type of things. There I go. Drink, drink. Boom. Shots in the morning. But yeah,
1942.
There's not that team other than the Washington football team. And I don't know if they're ready for prime time quite yet to get there and challenge them. They have some aspects of the team you like, but that's the only defensive line I look at. And maybe San Francisco, if Nick Bosa gets going here, to where you go, those two teams could be the teams that could really be a pain in his butt if they had to see him in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see what the Cowboys can do in 7 days. And Dan Quinn, surely the new coordinator in Dallas, has gone back and studied and researched. And you got to find wrinkles, and you can't find wrinkles at this point, not after 22 years in the NFL for Tom Brady. But you have to take chances to pressure him. Take the chances, because if you get lucky, you're going to get an interception.
Right.
And it could potentially turn a game around and give your offense, which does have a lot of firepower in Dallas, the defense not. The offense, yes. The offense will have an opportunity to try to steal the game.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.